Perfect.
Yeah? Okay. This is from chapter 12. It says, financial favor. God being real in my life does not start and stop with medicine. His presence has been evident and demonstrated in every aspect of my life, including financial. Now remember, I first started college working 3 jobs at $2.50 an hour. I really don't remember what my salary was either at the pharmaceutical company or at Memorial Hospital, but it was a reasonable salary for that time. One of the considerations when I said I wanted to go to medical school was, of course, financial. I obviously had no significant savings. My father probably could have afforded it, but he had not supported me or contributed to my maintenance and upkeep for many years. When asked how I was going to finance my medical education, my answer was always, scholarships and loans. God was indeed good in that I received a full scholarship to medical school. Again, I amassed no great savings as a resident physician in training, but it was more than adequate, and I lived in hospital housing, both uptown at Columbia Presbyterian, while doing my internship at Harlem Hospital Center, and at Cornell New York Hospital. Actually, New York Hospital was a good deal because our rent was subsidized and taken directly out of our pay pre-tax. When I opened the practice, I went to Chemical Bank, now Chase, and inquired how I would go about getting a business loan. The bank vice president, Paul Brown, looked at me strangely. I was not dressed appropriately and might have even looked unkempt, so I don't blame him entirely. I remember very well because I had been up all night, having been on call as chief resident. I was in flat shoes, jeans with a green scrub shirt on top, no makeup and hair pulled back. I was not exactly dressed for an interview. I had gone to the bank to make a deposit and on a whim requested to speak with the manager. I had already decided I was going into private practice, and despite the fact that I had been selected to be the administrative chief resident, I had no offers of partnership. Let's face it, that was 35 years ago. And even though most of the white male attendings, who comprised 98% of the department, had actually accepted me because of my industry and skill, the climate still did not bear bringing a black female in as a partner. Michael Strongen and Joseph Finkelstein, who had been my chief and senior residents when I started the program, had sat me down and helped me hash out a plan. Rent space, get a telephone number, apply for licenses, apply for insurance panels. I had a plan. I just had no idea how I was going to finance it. But that had never stopped me before. So on a whim that day after work, I asked to speak with the manager. What is the nature of your inquiry? I was asked. I need a business loan, I replied. As I sat with him, I truly wondered what I was doing. But he was gracious. I'm about to complete my residency in OBGYN at New York Hospital. I am opening a practice and I need a loan to finance it, I stated. Have you figured out your expenses? How much you're going to make? Do you have a business plan? He fired questions off at me. Business plan, I asked, confused and a little bewildered. Yes, a business plan, he said sternly. You need to sit down and write up a business plan, laying out all your weekly and monthly expenses, offsetting it on paper with how much you're going to charge for your services and how much money you're going to make. After that, I guess he thought he had seen the last of me, but he was wrong. I sat down every night over the next couple of weeks and put a plan together. I didn't even know then that I could have gone to a professional for help with this. I took the time to call various offices, pretending to be a new patient and asking for the charges and other procedures, as well as logistical questions. I don't know if the format was customary, as there were no computer programs for this and no internet to research in those days. 2 weeks later, I made an appointment with Mr. Brown. This time, I was prepared. I showed up in my best business suit and heels with my business plan, copies of my documents and recommendations, all in a shiny new folder. I made a presentation to Mr. Brown detailing and referencing the documents to explain the answers to all of the questions with which he had barraged me on our last meeting. Apparently, I was convincing because a month or so later, he got back to me, granting me a $100,000 line of credit and business account. Thus started Marcia A. Harris, MD-PC, DBA, Woman-to-Woman Medical Services.
Yay!